the Master of Ceremonies for today. I was a part of Troop 35 for a number of years. I was Scoutmaster for 4 years. Kind of got pulled out of retirement for this today, so my honor and privilege to do this. So with that, what we're going to do today is really honor John Tad Warren, he's the last remaining Scout, believe it or not, of Troop 35, right? So kind of the end of an era and a closing of an era that's going there today. So we're all here to kind of honor him today. So with that, I'd like to make some introductions to some folks in the audience today. Miss Kathy Burns, representative for Senator Perdue in this area. Mr. Tad Davis. Oh yeah, there we go. Raise the roof for you. This is going to start well. Good. All right, Mr. Tad Davis, you'll be hearing from him later on today. He's the Director of Bureau of Overseas Building Operations. That's just code word for Tad's uncle. The Honorable Bob Poitashef and his wife is here today, former mayor of Columbus, Georgia. Retired Colonel John House, Columbus City Councilman for District 10. Thank you for being here today. Retired Colonel Rob Chapa, President of the National Infantry Association. Yes, sir. And obviously a Eagle Scout himself, it looks like, by his brush jacket. All right. Mr. and Mrs. Rusty and Helen Hirsch from Troop 2 are also with us today. Thank y'all for being here. Mrs. Jean Herron, representative from the Oglethorpe chapter of Daughters of the American Revolution. And she's standing there. She knows how to spike the ball. Good. All right. Mrs. Richard Halleck, also a representative from the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Not here yet.
Is not present, right? You got to have one in the crowd. Mr. and Mrs. Bill Hurd, also here today. Thank y'all for being here. As well as the patriarch of the family, right, Lee Redmond.
Yeah, here he is.
I'm going to just high five you. Okay, good. So again, we're glad to have y'all here today. I'd also like to remind everyone, cell phone check, right? That's a good call. Okay, so I'll even do it myself. Get that out of the way. Just to have everybody make sure the cell phone's gone. We will, obviously, if you can't tell, going to have a reception honoring Tad and his family as well after the ceremony, so please join the family as well when we get there. So with that, if I can have everybody rise for the posting of the colors, the Pledge of Allegiance by Troop 35 to Eagle Scout Levi Fish, and then the invocation by Troop 35 to Eagle Scout Charlie Gilliam. Gentlemen?
All right, color guard attention. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. Color guard post the colors. Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in a recitation of the Scout Law. Invocation.
Please remove your hats and bow your heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as family, friends, leaders, and fellow scouts on this significant day in the life of Tad Warren. Today is a celebration of a journey full of challenges, friendship, struggles, and occasionally a little fun. Today, we think of all the merit badges earned along the way, the oaths committed to, the character this young man developed, and the service to our community he worked so hard to bring about. Little by little, month by month, and year by year, he was faithful, and we celebrate his faith, commitment, and hard work. So we ask for your blessing on Tad and his family who supported and encouraged him, and his fellow scouts who helped him along the way. Bless the scout leaders, Troop 35, and all those who are here physically or in spirit. Continue to walk with Tad as he takes these steps in becoming an Eagle Scout and the person you desire him to be. Amen.
Amen.
Color guard return the ranks.
All right, so if you would, please take a seat. By the power vested in me by the Chattahoochee Council BSA, we're going to declare this open for the Eagle Scout honor and privilege to Tad Warren. And with that, I'm going to have Adam Kovas, if you would, come up and handle the candle ceremony. Thank you.
This candle represents the spirit of scouting, a spirit which burns brightly in the heart of every scout. Let us renew our spirit by reminding ourselves of the meaning of the scout law. A scout is trustworthy. A scout's honor is to be trusted. If he were to violate his honor by telling a lie, or by cheating, or by not doing exactly a given task, when trusted on his honor, he may be directed to hand over his scout badge. The scout is loyal. The scout is loyal to all whom loyalty is due. His scout leader, his home, and his parents and country. The scout is helpful. The scout must be prepared at any time to save life, help injured persons, and share the home duties. He must do at least one good turn to somebody every day. The scout is friendly. The scout is a friend to all and a brother to every other scout. The scout is courteous. The scout is polite to all, especially to women, children, old people, and the weak and helpless. And he must not take pay for being helpful or courteous. The scout is kind. The scout is a friend to animals. He will not hurt or kill any living creature needlessly, but will strive to save and protect all harmless life. The scout is obedient. The scout obeys his parents, scoutmaster, patrol leader, and other duly constituted authorities. The scout is cheerful. The scout smiles whenever he can. His obedience to orders is prompt and cheery, and he never shirks nor grumbles at hardships. The scout is thrifty. The scout does not wantonly destroy property. He works faithfully, wastes nothing, and makes the best use of his opportunity. He saves his money so that he may pay his own way. Be generous to those in need and helpful to worthy objects. He may work for pay, but must not receive tips for courtesies or good turns. The scout is brave. The scout has the courage to face danger in spite of fear, and to stand up for the right against the coaxing of friends or the jeers or threats of enemies. And defeat does not down him. The scout is clean. The scout keeps clean in body and thought, stands for clean speech, clean sport, clean habits, and travels with a clean crowd. Finally, the scout is reverent. The scout is reverent towards God. He is faithful in his religious duties and respects the convictions of others in matters of custom and religion.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Adam. All right, next up, just to speak momentarily on the significance of the Eagle Scout Award, I'd like to introduce Tad Davis, who is Tad's uncle.
Come on through.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's absolutely my pleasure.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us here. It's a great day for the combined Davis-Warren family, and this is a pretty historic place for our family in particular because over 5 generations of the Davis-Warren, Murray, Redmond family have celebrated, significant events in our lives here at the Wynn House. But it is a great day to be a member of that combined family here in Columbus. An even greater day to be here to celebrate the accomplishments of my nephew, Tad Warren. I had to be careful because I wrote Tad Davis in the one year. But I've been accused by my colleagues back in Washington of using any excuse possible to get out of D.C. And I can think of nothing better than to be here, back home in Columbus with all of you to celebrate this great accomplishment in Tad's life. Now, while most of my scouting in the early days were right here in Columbus with Troop 1 at St. Paul's United Methodist Church, I was able to receive, my Eagle Award in the Post Theater in Carl Barracks, Pennsylvania,
where my mother and father, Tad's grandparents presided over the ceremony and penned on my Eagle Award. I reflect on that day from time to time, but more importantly, have tried to carry forth on a daily basis, what it really means to be an Eagle Scout. And Tad, for you as well, as we recognize your achievements today, your true journey as an Eagle Scout has just begun. Just a side note, when my father, he used to be referred to as Big Tad, I was Little Tad. When he passed away, I became Big Tad, and Tad became Little Tad. But I think you kind of get an appreciation, so it's a little bit. So he's Tad, and I'm like the other Tad. But again, I couldn't be prouder to be here with him today and to recognize his significant accomplishment in his life. As an Eagle Scout, you have an obligation to live up to the Scout Oath and law, to be prepared, to do a good turn daily, to help other people at all times. The challenges are many, but I'm confident you're up to the task at hand. And with the unconditional support, from your family, from your friends that are here today, your lifelong commitment to Scouting values, and most important, your faith in the Lord will keep you on the right azimuth, even during the greatest trials and tribulations that might still lay ahead. We love you dearly and are so very proud of what you've accomplished and look forward to the many wonderful things ahead in your life. And in closing, one parting word of wisdom, sort of advice from your uncle as you continue your life's journey. First and foremost, and always be prepared, because guess what? One way or another, folks are going to find out sometime down the road that you're an Eagle Scout. And when you least expect it, you might be called upon to perform in unique ways. Okay, at a moment's notice, you might be required to tie a bowline on a bike, whip up a 4-course meal and a number 10 can. Well, my personal favorite, and this actually happened to me not too long ago, be put to task to start a fire with a single match. So anyway, be prepared. Things to do. And finally, and probably equally important, all the best wishes from the Davis side of the family, from Aunt Diane, Sarah and Sam, Amy and Ryan, and we really look forward to just watching you continue to grow as a man, and for the wonderful things that you're going to do, both here at home and for the nation as a whole. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Mr. Tad. Thank you so much. All right, and now to present the Eagle Scout Charge, I'd like to introduce Rob Chapa, President of the National Infantry Association.
Good morning, or good afternoon.
There you go. Now we're talking.
I am Rob Chapa. I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm from New York, so a damn Yankee. Spent 30 years in the Army. Married Mindy Allen from Taylor County, Georgia. Friend with Van and Laura. And maybe most importantly, I was very fearful of Colonel Davis when he was alive.
Unfortunately, I didn't get the meeting, sir, so
This is the serious part of the evening, Ted, or afternoon. I'm here today to deliver the Eagle Scout Charge, the oath and a challenge to you, Tad Warren. Please stand over here in front of the American flag. You're about to join the ranks of Eagle Scout. Before you do so, we ask you to recommit yourself to Scouting's essential principles. I have the honor to give you the Eagle Charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in Scouting. The Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world's history. You've been judged by the Boy Scouts of America to be worthy of the highest rank in this great movement. Your position is one of honor, and one of integrity and responsibility. You are a marked man from here on out as an Eagle Scout. You have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to your country, to your fellow Scouts, and to all mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to this obligation, you must bring honor to yourself and to your brother Scouts. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service to God and to your fellow man. Live and serve so that those who know you will be inspired to finer living. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and abilities to the common good. Build America on a solid foundation of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God. Whatever others may do, you'll leave a record of which every other scout, every other member of your family, and all of us here will be proud of. As an Eagle Scout, you become a guide to other scouts of lower rank. You become an example in your community. Remember that your actions are now a little more conspicuous, and people will expect more of you. To falter in your responsibility would not only reflect on you, but on your fellow Eagle Scouts and all those in scouting. The torch you carry is not only yours, but is also ours. I challenge you to enter the Eagle Brotherhood, holding ever before you the ideals of honor and service by the repetition of the Eagle Scout promise before your fellow members. Through the words you use, though the words you use are similar to those by which you joined scouting, they mean much more now and will forever. By pledging yourself on your sacred honor, you seal your eternal loyalty to the highest code of the Eagle Scout. Will all Eagle Scouts please stand? Make the Scout sign, and Tad, repeat after me. I, John Tad Warren,
I, John Tad Warren,
reaffirm my allegiance
reaffirm my allegiance
to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
the obligations and responsibilities
the obligations and responsibilities
of the rank of Eagle Scout.
of the rank of Eagle Scout.
On my honor,
On my honor,
I will do my best
I will do my best
to make my training an example,
to make my training an example,
my rank and my influence
my rank and my influence
count strongly for better scouting
count strongly for better scout
and for better citizenship.
and for better citizenship.
In my troop,
In my troop,
in my community,
in my community,
in my contacts with other people,
in my contacts with other people,
and in America.
and in America.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
Thank you. Everyone, please join me in giving them a round of applause.
All right, at this time, we'd like to have Scoutmaster.
He's the tall one in the family.
Yeah, that one. Anton. So if you don't know Anton, you'll figure that in a second. But Anton's here to provide for the Eagles presentation of the badges, mother's pins, and everything like that. So let you be.
I got to witness him come all the way through, and it's been an honor to be a Scoutmaster, and a pleasure. He was a quiet kid when he got here, didn't say anything, and I picked on him and picked with him, and now you can't shut him up. He's sort of a smart aleck and picks back and came out of a shell that he started out in. So I did my job. My job is to take a young man, a young boy, and raise him to a young man. And I've done that right here. So I am proud to bestow this eagle pin on him. I hope I stab him. Probably has it coming. Maybe. It took him this long to get his eagle, too.
he didn't do this alone. This is a family affair. If you'll pin that on your mother. Don't pin your mother. Yeah, you're more scared of her than you are of dad. You got problems.
Stand on my tiptoes, man.
This patch right here will go on his uniform right here in place of this heart. So he'll be an Eagle Scout, and he'll wear this patch until he's 18. When he turns 18, he can put the square knot, red, white, and blue square knot right above his pocket. And he's eligible to wear this pin when he feels like it, when he has his uniform on. So this is for the memento. You guys can be seated. Anybody want any pictures, right quick? All right, you can see.
Bravo.
This is my mentor pin.
As he was presented his eagle at the board, he got this right here, this recognition. This is his eagle certificate and card. If I can make it work right there. All right, photo op right here. I'll get out of the way there, you can hold that right there too. All right, let's set this down, and I'll turn this over. Thanks, Trip.
I think Tad's gonna speak.
I think that's gonna see.
I'm just in the green room.
So, in scouting, many ups and downs, especially in my path. A lot of them were funny ones, especially the downs. It's there. It was a lot of fun going on the campouts and merit badges and being in with this troop. And one good story I will say was fairly few years ago. It was at Mr. Anton's farm, and he just got there, but we were already there, already set it up, and we were playing some football. And I just remember it all happened so quickly. One of our scouts by the name of JJ, he got kind of flattened by a parent, and then another scout by the name of Cameron, who's not here also. When Mr. Anton showed, he let his dogs out. One of the dogs went right over to Cameron's tent and just started going in it. So as the dog's going in his tent, there's another kid getting flattened by a parent, and it just all at once. So I have had some hope. We cannot do this alone. Some people I would like to thank would be my friends Adam and John, and my scout troop, and Mr. Anton especially, and Mr. Enoch, and my parents mainly for shoving me through the eagle line. So, yes. That's it. Yeah.
That's it? The end? Okay. All right, so now we are entering the shower with praise segment of the thing. So we got a couple of special recognitions. First up, if I could have Miss Kathy Burns come up to present the Eagle Certificate on behalf of Senator Perdue. Photo up time, right? Please do.
Thank you. Good afternoon again, everyone. I'm Kathy Burns, Field Representative with U.S. Senator David Perdue. and it is terrific to be here today. This is an awesome occasion. We're in the beautiful setting of the Witt House. I'm on the board of directors here, and I couldn't have been more pleased when I received the invitation that it was going to be here. So thank you so much. I am the field rep for Senator Perdue and also consider myself a friend of the family. So this is really the joy of the job, and it's just so wonderful to be here. Tad, congratulations on this amazing accomplishment. We're all so proud of you. And I would like to share a letter from Senator Perdue. He couldn't be here today, but sends his greetings. United States Senate, Eagle Scout John Addison Davis Warren. Dear Mr. Warren, it gives me great pleasure to congratulate you on achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. This accomplishment that reflects your sincere commitment to yourself and to your community. I understand that your grandfather, Addison Davis III, and your great-grandfather, Moses Murray, were both presidents of the Chattahoochee Boy Scouts of America Council. I am glad to see that you have followed in the footsteps of your family members by representing Georgia so well. The hope and future of our great nation lies in the hands of driven and capable young people, such as yourself. You have demonstrated exemplary personal leadership and service. For your dedication and hard work, I heartily commend you. Again, congratulations on this outstanding achievement. I wish you the very best of luck in your future endeavors, and if I can ever be of assistance to you, please do not hesitate to let me know. Kindest regards, David Perdue, United States Senate. And just one more thing, if I could, this does not happen without an amazing family behind you. Van, I don't have anything for you, but Laura, I do have an infant for you. I know Chops will be very happy that you have a second one, so thank you so much for raising such an amazing young man.
All right, thank you, Ms. Kathy. Next up, if I could bring the Honorable Rob Poitashep up, former mayor of Columbus, to make his presentation.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You want to do it from here or there?
No, I can do it over.
Rock and roll over.
I was
Okay.
told by Councilor House and my wife, I have a minute.
I thought you 30
For
seconds.
those of you that know me, there's no way in Hades. 1 minute. No, but first of all, my relationship to the Davis families go back to 1950. When her daddy was first captain and I was a plebe at the Citadel. I love them then. I've known Laura since she was a baby. She was born. She would be skating in my house at Fort Benning with my son. Now, I'm proud to be here, not only for young Ted, but the fact is, I love scouting. I never made Eagle. I was an Eagle with 27 merit badges, and I couldn't get the life-saving. In those days, we had to take life-saving. Our son is an Eagle, and Stacy and I were present when General Signius gave him his award at the Citadel Summer Camp. But being an Eagle is so important, and I've also been president of this council. I love scouting. It produces great leaders, great men, such as those you're sitting in front of me and young Tad. And the thing is so important that when I was on the commission to select young people for the military academies, and let me just say parenthetically the Citadel, when you were an Eagle Scout, you were given full credit for all of your social services. We didn't care what else you were. If you were an Eagle Scout, as far as we were concerned, you were in. And so, Tad, I'm proud to present to you the Mayor's Coin of Excellence. I always consider myself the mayor. I don't care who's sitting. And I've known our mayor since he was a little boy at the Commander General Staff College. But I'm telling you, he's a good mayor. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I got nothing for you.
57, 58, 59. Okay. Next up, if I could, Councilman John House, if you could step forward for the presentation, please.
I'll see if I can beat Bob as far as getting done. Appreciate that. Dan, congratulations first. The scary thing is, this is 54 years after becoming an Eagle Scout. So this is what you have to look forward to. Hopefully you'll do better than me. But also, as you get to be an old guy, you wind up belonging to a lot of different organizations. And thankfully, I belong to the Sons of the American Revolution. That wants to give you a special certificate for your outstanding achievement, and the Military Order of the World Wars. Because these patriotic organizations recognize, just as Bob said, the importance of being an Eagle Scout and the wonderful things that it shows about you, your family, and what you're going to do for all the rest of us. So thank you again, and you got to try to hold two certificates at once and pose.
Bravo.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Next up, if we could have Rusty and Helen Hirsch from Troop 2. They will come up and present the Marine Corps and the VFW certificates.
And it's gonna be Brandy instead of Helen, so.
Yes.
That's okay.
Helen looks better.
Yeah, I was going to say. I wasn't going to be the first to say it, but.
No, I'm gonna take pictures.
Well, I know we're in distinguished company today, all these Eagle Scouts and all these people that were almost Eagle Scouts. I didn't have that pleasure, but I guess we still serve with a troop that had the Scoutmaster that passed away last year had over 100 Eagle Scouts under his belt. And we were fortunate enough to have a son who's an Eagle Scout out of that troop. And we also assisted with probably about half of those on their journey to Eagle. So it's not like we don't know what it takes to get where it's at. We know it takes all that involvement of the families, and I think you made an indication, something about pushing with a foot or whatever. That is the case. So when you honor an Eagle Scout, you have to automatically recognize everybody involved, parents, grandparents, etc. Brent and I both represent the Marine Corps League Detachment 1402, which is out at Fort Benning. Parents, Scoutmasters, and leaders, thank you for inviting Detachment 1402 from the Columbus Marine Corps League to this Eagle Court of Honor. It is with pleasure that we make this presentation to all worthy Scouts that have recently attained the rank of Eagle Scout. The Eagle Scout program is over 100 years old, and the Eagle Trail has not gotten any shorter, but longer, with the addition of 2 more required Eagle merit badges. Success in scouting is not based on merit badges alone, but in part on leadership and responsibility, taking ownership of your situation and your environment. Throughout your youth scouting experiences, they have heard, once an Eagle, always an Eagle. As a Marine veteran, part of our heritage, our core heritage, is once a Marine, always a Marine.
Hoorah!
Hoorah!
Don't get carried away. Yeah. Go Army, beat Navy.
Oh, okay. Both titles must be earned every day and never taken lightly, for there are many that will be watching you and waiting for you to stumble. As a new Eagle Scout, you are a citizen of your community. As you mature in your new title and responsibility, you will be challenged to be a citizen of your community, a citizen of your nation, and a citizen of your world community. The legacy of Eagle Scouts and the scouting program is not lost on those that have shared the scouting experience. The success of many business, military, and political leaders was nurtured by the participation and involvement in scouting. As Marines, we are taught to challenge our foes and advance towards the enemy. Our challenge to you as a new Eagle Scout is to always advance towards success.
Good.
Congratulations. And also, like, this is, where's Eddie? We have a couple of guys there. Benny Sheehan, who's a member, he's a career war veteran also, by the way, in Vietnam. Terry Holland is a Marine, Vietnam era. We also have a challenge coin that has the Eagle Scout logo on one side and the Marine Corps globe and anchor on the other side. And the Marine Corps says, Good Citizenship Award presented to John Addison Davis Warren, who has attained the rank of Eagle Scout. We know what the journey was for him to get there, and we appreciate his journey.
And also a certificate from the Veterans of Foreign Wars, a local post here, also recognizes Eagle Scouts such as you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you for letting us present.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Coming this way, Mr. Gibson. Come on through. Thank you. All right. And next up, if Miss Jean Heron would come up and present to our young man. Bring the calendar. Bring wherever you want.
My husband called me Angel, so I should be able to fly over there, but he called me that because it meant I was always up in the air and harping on something. I knew your great-grandparents, your grandfather and grandmother. In fact, I lived in their house while they were in Hawaii. We rented it from them. And your grandparents came, the great-grandparents came out to make sure that I was keeping it clean. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution to present to you a D.A.R. coin with Constitution Hall upon it, which we own. And I know you know that because your mother is in my chat. And we are very proud of you, and you represent America well. And we need a lot more young people like you today to keep socialism out of our
How you doing this sport? All good? Got a duffel bag to take everything home? Probably what? Probably need one. Well, nonetheless, first of all, thank y'all all for being here today. Before I adjourn us, I could call on Charlie Gillen at the moment, please, to give the benediction, followed by the retirement of the colors by Levi Fish. And for those two things, would y'all please stand?
Can I do a special thing? Yes.
You can do whatever you want. Yeah, come on. Ladies and gentlemen, Van Warren!
Tad and I, first of all, thank y'all for coming today. I know it's a little warm. If you'll bear with me for just a few more minutes. As Tripp said earlier, you don't get to where you are without a lot of help from everybody. The troop, Tad's the last one, and so he and I decided we needed to recognize a few people that are here today, and I'm going to call you here in just a second. First of all, I'd like to thank my brother-in-law Tad for coming from Washington, D.C. We certainly appreciate him making that effort. To all the parents and leaders of Troop 35, we want to thank you guys for helping us. It's been a very great journey, starting with Tripp, then Dr. Steve Ansley, who was the Scoutmaster prior to Mr. Anton, all the scouts who are no longer with us here because they've gone on, many are at college, and so they couldn't be here today. They have other things going on, but certainly they were very impactful. But there's a couple of folks we'd like to point out. Number one, Tripp, as you can see, his son eagled what, 6, 7 years ago?
2014?
He's still here helping, and I couldn't think of a better person that's been involved. In the back, Miss Patty Simpkins, she and has been a big help with the troop, and especially in the latter years when Tad and I were still there, and as we kind of were getting to less and less folks within the troop. But a couple of people I'd like to really identify, and Tad, if you'll grab the first one. If Mr. Steve Owen would come up. As most of you know, once you get into scouting as a parent, if you start to volunteer to do things, you know, you kind of get sucked into the vortex that you can't get out of. And Steve is one of my battle buddies that I can remember he and I, like down at Chipley at the Wolf Preserve, talking at 10 o'clock at night. We're just talking around the campfire as the boys are off doing manhunt or something like that. But Steve also helped us with the Eagle Project, and that was after his son had already eagled and was out of the troop, or not out of the troop, but he'd already gone on, and so he came back and helped us. So we'd like to thank you for helping us out and being one of those that came back. The next one is Enoch. Enoch, if you could come here. Enoch, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't know, Tad started out as a Cub Scout, and Enoch was volunteered. Boy, he didn't know what he was getting into. To be the Cub Scout den leader, if you will. Now, I can remember
2 hours a week.
The
10 hours a week.
the first meeting, there's 25 little boys, 5, 6-year-olds. They haven't eaten dinner yet. They're pinging off walls. There's that times 2 in parents around the room just standing around looking at everything. And poor Enoch is trying to control 25 little boys pinging off the walls, trying to accomplish one task. And it's like the Microsoft stage. It's just like controlled chaos. But Enoch is another one of these that was kind of there to the end. And we certainly miss Cameron being here today, his son. But he was part of the last group of boys that crossed over from Webelos to this troop. But Enoch has been a very big help and a good friend of mine ever since. And so I just wanted special recognition for all that you've done. Thank you. Mike Harden, sir, if you would come up here. Mike is another one of those incredible parents that volunteered to be on the treasurer and then couldn't shake it off, no matter what he tried. And Mike is another one of those that stuck around after his son had already eagled. Mike was still involved with the troop and helping Tad specifically. There we were on the last night trying to get his eagle stuff together, and we had to do another beneficiary check to our beneficiary. This is 6:30 at night. Mike's senior VP over there at Synovus, and we're having to run over there to get the last check that we can run over to our beneficiary. And he's getting ready to prepping for a trip he had to take. And so I can't thank him enough for everything that he did for Tad and all the scouts in your role there. So just as a token of our appreciation, thank you. Where's Miss Mary Ann? She needs to come up here. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Mary Ann Bricado is our assistant scoutmaster. And she was kind of the communicator extraordinaire. She sent out all the emails that told us what to do. Somehow she managed to keep it all straight, all the information that she had to send to the Scout Council to keep all the boys in terms of what merit badges they had, what stuff they had done, and all that. I don't know how you kept it all straight. I do not know how you did it. She's another parent that volunteered. The other thing this lady did about 4 years ago when we did the Pine Mountain Trail hike, yeah, 23 miles. She did it all. She smoked us all. I had to turn in my Ranger card. I'm like, I'm done. But she is a blessing to the troop. We thank you for everything you did, and just wanted to make a small appreciation. Her son also, Wyatt, an Eagle Scout. She hung around when Tad was still the last one, and so we can't thank you guys enough for doing that for us. Thank you. And last but not least, if Mr. Anton will come here.
Got him.
There are certain people
It's cool, dude. I kind of agree.
Anyway. Thank you.
Before you go and leave, we do have something for you.
Bravo.
Well, as y'all know, it's my big brother Tad. And about 50 years ago, 1970, he was talking about his Eagle Award, and I happened to run across this picture. I hope you wouldn't mind. That's you and all your glory. Us presenting this to you, and thank you for everything.
Thanks so much.
All right. All right. If I can now call on the Scouts for Charlie Gillen to give the benediction, followed by the retirement of the colors by Levi Fish. And if we could stand for both, please.
Please bow your heads. Dear God, an Eagle Scout Court of Honor marks the end of one journey and the commitment to another. A commitment to better scouting where all may participate. A commitment to better citizenship and a commitment to be an example of leadership to all. Bless all of Tad's future endeavors. Walk with him wherever his life takes him and give him your strength, your compassion, your wisdom, and your love. And may all of us gathered here be committed to scouting's ideals, which instruct us to lead better lives. May we, like Tad, always follow our own trails, discovering who we are by striving into the unknown. May God be with us all until we meet again. Amen. Amen.
And I apologize for arriving. I didn't know you.
All right. Color guard retrieve the colors. Color guard reform. Color guard forward march.
Y'all may be seated. Just saying, it has been my honor to be a part of this today. Thank you to the Warren family for allowing me to have this part in it. Afterwards, we have refreshments and reception honoring Tad and his accomplishments. So with that, the Eagle Court of Honor is adjourned. Thank y'all for being here.